All right. So this is an exploration of unknowableness. This space, it's totally pointless, as has been said many times before. There's no meaning or purpose whatsoever for a so-called individual to be here. In a way, it's kind of like a starvation. Um, so starvation can seem to happen for that which is trying to get something or to get somewhere. And yeah, there is just simply an absence of attempting to move along a path or to process or to progress or to steadily go somewhere else other than what is happening, what's simply appearing to happen. And to that effect, it's like there's just a reflection of seeing and hearing and reflecting, perhaps a kind of a basking for some. So it can seem to be like a basking sometimes in something that is totally unknowable and incomprehensible. And yeah, sometimes the energetic resonance can be felt or just happening, and sometimes it isn't. And whatever's happening is just what's happening. There's no significance attached to anything because everything is only what it is, whole. So there's not this and then something else. It's not this and this means that. All there is this, and meaning it takes a million different forms, apparently, but it's simply immediately what is. And somehow through exposing the agendaless nature of what seems to be happening, can seem to illuminate. It can seem to illuminate what is already, putting so for some that can seem to bring about a change. For some bodies, it can seem to bring about a change of perception, almost like a perception can change for the so-called psychophysical organism, like the body character. Perception can just seem to quite radically shift and change. It's not required, of course, because nothing is required, nothing is necessary, nothing needs to happen, nothing needs to be fulfilled. It's already fulfilled. But in exposing the boundless and agendaless nature of what seems to be, there can be a sort of merging or a click. So that's what seemed to happen for a character called Alexis. It was just like somehow there was just an apparent click, and then I kind of just allowed for the need for time to be real and me moving along a path in time going somewhere, that whole thing just falls apart. That just falls apart. So of course, time, meaning, purpose, hope are all sort of dependent on time to be absolutely real, and this exposes that time is not real. And when it's revealed that time is not real, meaning, purpose, hope all seem to obviously fall away, and then it's just revealed that this is totally boundlessly free to be what it is, without any free will and choice as well, of course. And for some, it doesn't matter how many times that's said, that it would just never be believed. Um, this isn't attempting to convince anyone that this is the truth or not the truth, or it's simply an exposure, or even a celebration in a way. It can be sort of a celebration, um, without a purpose. And although the so-called individual doesn't really want to hear this, for some bodies, it's like the body seems to occasionally find a great deal of relief. The body can feel a great deal of relief. Again, not required, but sometimes it just feels like, oh, thank goodness for that. This sort of horrendous seeking can be just so incredibly exhausting and taxing on the body, which doesn't involve the individual, because there's no individual for this to be about. And so that's why the word bathing or basking is used, because it's not someone bathing or basking, it's just bathing seems to be happening in something that cannot be comprehended or gotten hold of. There is nothing. There is nothing to be got hold of. So maybe a little exploration of that in different ways. All the time that sitting is happening and silence is happening and talking is happening, it would seem as though something else, although it's not really something else because there's not two, but it would seem as though something else is seeming to emerge or to be revealed. Something energetic, some kind of movement or shimmer.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to join the meetings of Kenneth when I'm emotional.
Say again, Anita.
I'm not allowed to be in a meeting of Kenneth when I'm emotional. Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, it's all allowed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Crying, laughter, joy, dance, play, anger, resistance, resonance, it's all the same thing. It's all the same no thing. It's all unconditional love. You look as though you got a joke for us, Jack.
This is the joke, is it not?
It is a joke, yeah.
No, earlier you had mentioned there could be a click. Yes, but there was also this sense of flipping out of a leash.
Oh,
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. It's like
yeah, yes.
suddenly there's boundless freedom. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Well, it's not good or bad, obviously.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. A leash that I didn't know was there until it wasn't. The word knowing is problematic, but
Mm.
why do I even try to talk? The words never express it. But yeah, there was suddenly a freeing. Now, again, this freeing was recognized, so I guess that's still a me recognize. Nonetheless, I don't care about. But there was suddenly a slipping out of this leash, this sudden freedom. It was just there. That's why quite often there's so much laughing because it's just. I'm done. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to try. But that was the joke. That's what I find ironic
Mm.
is that all of that stuff that I took to be true. That's the way you're supposed to live your life, and that's the way you're supposed to be in the world, and that's the way that's what
Mm.
good people do and responsible people do. Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alexis.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there is no real leash, but if there was a real leash, there would be a real individual. The individual is the leash. Because there's no real individual, there's no real leash. Unconditional freedom is not good or bad, but it is fucking radical. It's incredible. For no one.
But there are feelings.
Well, then everything is just appearing as it is.
Okay, then what appeared was this great sense of relief for this imagined leash that's no longer there. So
Right, right.
I don't I don't have to debate whether or not there was a leash or a mirror. There's what's happening is this great sense of relief, this great sense of
Yes.
being, yeah.
Yeah. So relief. So this is relieving.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yes. And no amount of trying to define that is it, it won't work. It can't. A definition just simply it always falls short. The words always fall short.
Yeah, and what falls away with me is the need to define what this is. I mean, this can't be defined, although we say, it's said this is unconditional, love is boundless. The words are like carrying. It's as though they're carrying something.
It
But it is
can be
undefined.
intuited. It can be intuited.
Intuition can
There's
arise, resonance,
there's a something.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's got nothing to do with an individual.
Yes, I know that.
Do
Yes,
you?
yes, I know.
Who knows that?
Well, I knew that was going to follow. I just knew that's yeah. Hmm.
Oh,
Your turn, Joey.
oh, well, hold on a minute. I would love to hear what Joey has to say, but Sam said something as well. Uh, if we truly see the world for what it is, that is the prison. So no one sees the world as it is. There is no world and there is no one. Me seeing a world is apparently a dualistic dream. There really is no world and there really is no one. We've said, it's been said many times already, although it even sounds contradictory for an apparent body to apparently be saying that there's apparently no one. But there's no world either. There's no space. There's no time. There's no space. There's nothing. It is complete horseshit, yeah. I don't know about horseshit, actually. Why horseshit? Why not bull or I don't know. Who is BS? Oh, you might like to elaborate on that, Joey. What I was hearing is that sadness and anger or shame or um, tears isn't allowed, and of course it is because everything is allowed.
Yeah, seems like if it's harmless behavior, um, yeah,
Yeah, of
why
course.
wouldn't that be allowed? To me, it seems like that.
Well, even harmful behavior is allowed. Everything is allowed. Everything.
We're talking in general. I think in the meeting, like if
Mm.
somebody's whatever it is. I mean, there's my sense is like one of the greatest thing with tone is that there's no direction which way there's no preconceived direction which way the meeting will go.
Yeah.
And if you're not hurting somebody else or impeding on time constantly or something like that,
Mm.
it's my opinion.
And it's allowed. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's no direction. There is no direction because there's no space or time. Obviously, if someone starts getting up and, swearing at people or trying to abuse, that's allowed, but also punching them in the face is also allowed,
Yes.
or throwing
Or
them out,
throwing them out. Yeah, exactly.
or you know, like it's a radical unconditional allowance, and whatever happens that apparently precedes or succeeds that is also what's happening. But yeah, you know, tears, sadness, joy, laughter, it's like whatever the apparent individual or the apparent body is experiencing or showing as, it's like that is just radical freedom. Somehow, when the body hears that there's no time or space, it seems to do something to the body which can't be described, but like really hearing that there's no time or space really like pulls a fundamental rug underneath. You know, I mean, the me really does seem to depend on, there is no me, but this contracted energy and the apparent story that seems to come along with it. It seems to, it wobbles. It wobbles when it's said that there's no time, because it stands on going somewhere, constantly going somewhere, trying to get something, obtain something, moving along a path towards happiness or enlightenment or whatever else.
If there's no me, then thoughts just apparently happen.
Yes.
They're not mine because they're just like a thoughts. They just happen. They just arise, and yeah. See, quite often when I hear something like that, I'm like, okay, what do I do with this information?
Oh.
Like there's a responsibility for me to make that information do something, make it.
Yes. Yeah. It's based on the notion that there's a real you and that this is information. There's neither.
And yet that thought just happened. Whereas before, I would think, I would claim ownership. I'm wondering, what do I do with that information? But it's just thoughts. Even that thought of what to do with that information, that's just a thought. Not there's no ownership to it.
No. The illusion is that all of these thoughts, ideas, perceptions, memories, beliefs, opinions, views, values, sensations, sights, sounds, and everything is happening as some great divine show that's all put on for me.
Are you saying the contrary?
What if it was all just appearing as a show for absolutely no one at all and no reason?
Yeah, someone could
Like a
enjoy it.
great,
Someone just
like a great theatre production that no one's attending.
I'm going to stop there. I am going to stop there.
Oh.
But yeah, someone to refer to the movie that no one is watching. Yeah. I don't understand the attempt to express something that cannot be expressed. And then I get frustrated because never mind. Again, that's me trying to do something with it. I'm going to do something with this information. give an editorial, make some statement. It's like that's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. I have to say something. I have to say something. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go take a nap.
Well, you still seem to think that there's something inside the envelope. There's nothing inside the envelope. The message is empty. There's nothing inside of it. There's no information. The message is
But
the
yet,
message.
yeah, but but it still persists.
Well, yeah, the persistence just appears, of course, apparently.
Well, that
It's not
can be
real
tiring.
persistence. Hold on, it's not real persistence because there's no real time, remember?
Thank you, Alexis. Again, the attempt to grasp that, the attempt to see that, the attempt to know that, it's just that just operates. It just operates.
Mm.
And even just the operating, there's that sense of frustration.
Mm.
It's like a dog chasing its tail. I'm like, it's futile, but yet it persists, or seems to apparently persist.
Mm. Yeah.
That's neither good nor bad. That's just what apparently seems to happen from
Yeah.
time to time.
Yes. So for the apparent human organism, what seems to happen is a contracted energy, and when the contracted energy seems to be in place, it goes towards this and that to get something. It's always seemingly trying to obtain something, a something. Contracted energy is unconditional of appearing to be conditioned.
So it can
And
do no other. Whatever.
by being apparently conditioned, it longs for it longs for something which also being a something is conditioned. And because it has no idea what's being shared, it thinks that what's being shared is a something. That it's and therefore it must be information or knowledge or a teaching even. So what's happening is apparently misinterpretation that this is a piece of knowledge that I can use, that I can get a hold of and apply, that I can figure out how this all works so that maybe I'll feel more free. It's dualism.
But even that just happens. I mean, okay, if the dualism happens or appears to happen, I mean, that's just the way autopilot. That's just the way it plays out.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
it's all just appearing. It's an illusion, but it's not an illusion that's wrong or right, good or bad. Within the illusion appears opinions and AKA good, bad, right, wrong, pleasant, unpleasant.
I'm not responsible for the illusion.
There is no you.
Right. But when I hear things like it's an illusion, it's just an illusion. There's that part that goes, well, then I must be doing something wrong if I'm still in this illusion. I have to get rid of this illusion, right? Well, no, that's not the case. If there's I can't do anything with anything because there is, okay, I'll say there is no I, but the feeling is, yes, there is. Oh, yes, there is. In other words, it's cognitive. There is no I, but then that core feeling is, of course, there is. But that's just what apparently is happening also. Yes.
Yes.
That's also unconditional love. Yes.
There is only unconditional love.
Go take a nap, Grandpa. I'm going to go lay down.
There's only nothing.
Yes. There's only nothing, but that can't be known.
How could nothing be known?
Well, okay, but there are those who speak from authority like, oh, there's only nothing, but they make it sound like they know that nothing, but that's not possible.
But there's no one to be knowing it.
I know, well, there are people who say they know that.
Oh, really?
Trust me. Trust me. I've had gurus. I know.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Alexis.
I mean, this is all totally nonsensical. This has got nothing to do with logic, really.
Or as you so eloquently pointed out to me one day, it's not about you. Oh, yes. I feel like Alice in Wonderland when she fell down the rabbit hole. It's like, it's just this.
Yes. I mean, this is totally abundant because it's boundless, and it's totally immediate because it's timeless. And being boundless, it can appear an imagined thought, or even an imagined sensation that there's got to be something else, or somewhere else, or someone else, and there's got to be duality. There's got to be a subject and an object. Like being boundless, it does anything and everything, but it's nothing at all. It's totally immediate, it's totally abundant, spontaneous, chaotic, and indescribably energetic.
Yeah, that. Now, see that I got that makes sense because there's no word for. Thanks, Alexis.
In a way, the more that we talk about this, the more it becomes distorted. But it can't really be distorted because there is no it.
Yes, the words are like quicksand. The more talk, the more enmeshed in duality or missing the point. It's just that's the words are not real. The words are not real.
No, nothing is real. So what's apparently happening here is just a spontaneous, immediate, abundant this. And out of that appears a response or, a question, a comment, a remark, a confusion, silence. It's like, it's so completely fresh and fluid and vibrant and spontaneous, and it's all happening divinely for no reason at all.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Very good. I'll give you an A star. I mean, this really has no idea what it's talking about. Literally. There's no idea at all.
So we all shall sing Strawberry Fields. Sid is referencing Strawberry Fields in his statements. Yeah, thank you.
Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Well, I'm not sure if your internet was cut out when it was being said or where anyone was, but it was said earlier like that this meeting can seem to be a great starvation. It starves all sort of seeking energy to try and get somewhere else or to try and it's not deliberately doing that, because that, again, deliberate would be agendered. It's just somehow a sort of a starvation, starving all attempts to turn this into something, or to turn it into a process, or to try and make something out of it. Or like, if I listen to this, or if I sit in this space, maybe. But even to say it's a starvation, potentially, upon hearing that, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll starve to death, and then I'll be free.
But this is nothing happening.
It's just nothing happening here.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of understandable as to why Tony nowadays will often just respond to most remarks with, all there is nothing apparently happening. Because it's just, you know, we can get lost in all sorts of concepts, and, you know, I mean, this likes to talk and others like to talk, and, you know, a lot of concepts and suggestions are shared, but really, yes, it's absolutely spot on. All there is nothing apparently happening. That's all there is to it. Nothing more needs to be said. Not even that needs to be said, but that is what is. Hello.
His leg is hurting. He's
Oh,
got, oh, now I just found a tick in his forehead. He's got an infection of his dew claw. He's such a big baby, it's crazy.
yeah. The greatest master of them all.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is home. And essentially, home is without process. Next week, there's some more meetings happening. Monday and Tuesday. GMT is 12 till 2. So I'll just be there chatting. We can have a chat, a conversation. You don't have to pay anything, just come along if you want to. There's a chat with Walter as well on Monday. Oh, it's straight after, actually. Monday 2 till 4 or something like that. Again, GMT. British
Is
time.
it Zoom? Zoom
Yes,
meeting?
it's on Zoom and YouTube, yeah. And then Wednesday, standard, Friday, usual thing. Also seems to be a meeting in Brighton in May at Brendan's house, so that'll be fun.
Cool.
And yeah, if anyone wants to chat for a bit longer, we can just have a bit of a chit chat. If you want, I'll stop the recording, and much love to you all.